This is the Twin Cities Real Estate Investing Show. Real stories, real success in Twin Cities real estate. Join your hosts, Adam Tafel and Tim Swierczek, as they dive into the world of Twin Cities real estate investing. Together, they share valuable insights and practical tips to help both new and seasoned investors navigate the Minneapolis-St. Paul market. With a focus on relatable stories from real people, this show will empower you with the knowledge and confidence to thrive in your investing journey. Guys, take it from here.
What's going on, Tim?
Hey, man. How you doing?
We got Joe Walz today.
Yeah.
This is a good conversation, man. We get into intentional living, Minneapolis community stuff. He's got a pretty classic story of starting at the right time in real estate, taking risks. But this is a unique conversation that I think you guys will enjoy.
Yeah, it went a direction I wasn't expecting. I didn't know intentional living prior to this. So if you've never heard of that, I think you're going to really enjoy this episode. And it's maybe not as Twin Cities focused, although we talk about his places. It's really focused on a different type of investing or even lifestyle, I might say.
Yeah, but first, please support our sponsors. Welcome to the Twin Cities Real Estate Investing Show, brought to you by Shook. Shook is the all-in-one platform to help you manage your rentals, built for real estate investors just like us. Shook offers lightning-fast ACH payments. I just got a few properties set up with Shook, and I'm getting paid way faster than my old service. They can also do custom things, like if you need to pay a manager a percentage, they can take care of that. The staff at Shook, Oliver, and the team are just so awesome to work with, and we want to thank Shook for sponsoring the podcast. At $5 per unit per month, it's totally worth checking out shookrentals.com to book a live demo. In the show notes, we're also offering a discount of 20%. Use the code TCREI20. Thank you. One of the hardest parts of investing is finding a solid property manager. I've worked with plenty over the years. Some are better than others. Earlier this year, I did a 10-unit deal where John and his team at RPM Viking handled the management for our mutual out-of-state client. They were professional, they were responsive, they delivered exactly as promised. Now they are my number one management referral, and I'm proud to have them supporting the show. Learn more at rpmviking.com. Use the code TCREI300 for $300 off maintenance services when you sign up with RPM Viking as your property manager. Thanks for sponsoring the show. Investors, if a deal gets messy, call Network Title. They can handle the BRRRR, the 1031, mixed use, commercial, whatever it takes, so you can close on time. Working with Network Title is kind of like having another personal assistant. That's how on the ball these people are. Network Title, complex deals made simple. Link in the show notes.
Kurt,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Other than that, I don't have a lot on my plate, actually. Kind of like breathing from yesterday's craziness. I had an apartment turnover. My handyman wasn't, he was sick.
Ah, okay.
Like, oh, fuck. So I got another one, but he was only there for maybe half the work, and then I had to do the other half and recruit my girlfriend to do the cleaning, and then...
Does she love that when you recruit her for that?
Probably not. she's nice, and she's actually from China.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, then I had 2 showings. I think both are going to take them, so that's awesome. And then, and I had inspection on 2 egress windows for basement,
recent
suites.
Recently put in, obviously, if you had the
Kind
inspections.
of. I mean, it took them forever. I was like, man, I'm going to be leaving here. We got to get this done, Because, I've got an interesting room in my house. It's like a movie theater room, but Sylvia, my girlfriend from China, she was staying in there. Mm-hmm. And she came over, and then so I had the egress window put in, and then I got another kind of basement mother-in-law suite that
you're putting in.
Yeah, it's the only way I can make that property make money is counting on that, and I'm like figuring that's kind of a little bit of a.
Is this a newer purchase then?
What's that?
Is it a newer purchase or?
It was a purchase from 2 years ago. Feels like forever, but it was only 2 years ago. And the basement, I had two people, my best friend who's like a real estate agent, and the guy who does basement renovation. Both of them like, don't renovate this basement. I'm like, I could see why, but I'm gonna I like the challenge. It's the only way.
So
I can
you
make
did
it fly.
renovate it then? Is what you're saying? Like
It's in the
they told-
process.
yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, there's like a bathroom put in, and trying to figure out how to get it so that I can get a permit on that. But
Why didn't they want you to? What's the build year of the house? We're rolling, by the way.
yeah, the build year of the house was 1905. They just said it was a small space. They said there's a lot of obstacles, and there are. Electrical's one of them. There's an asbestos-lined pipe cutting across, like on your way to the bedroom, potentially. Sure. And yeah, I mean, you got to weigh return on investment. Is it worth spending set amount of money to get what? Because it's not even a unit itself. It's like combined with the first floor.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just extra bedrooms. It's not going to be a full on.
But there's no continuity that the city wants to see.
There's going to be continuity. So it's going to be a multi-level unit. Right now, the first floor is a one-bedroom, and the lower will be like a one-bedroom. And I'm leasing it like they're roommates. So that's the way to do it.
Because it's single family?
Yeah.
Or it's not zoned? You have two rental licenses.
it's a duplex.
Okay. Oh, I get what you're saying.
it's just you're not trying to make a third unit.
Yeah, I'm just renting it out to two different people, and they're becoming
Oh.
roommates, essentially.
Right. Got it.
So that's kind of a
So it's co-living.
creative way.
Explain to the
Co-living
listeners.
is what that's called, man.
Hey, this is a good learning opportunity for our listeners. Let's explain it. The city of Minneapolis will only allow one lease per rental license,
Yep.
right? So if you have an ADU or you have a non-conforming duplex, what do?
Well,
You make them be
you
roommates.
get creative. Yeah.
I actually didn't realize they'd only allow one lease because we've done.
To do that, you'll need to turn on airplane mode.
Dude,
Somebody
his
else
Siri
wanted to
has
chime
been
in.
like really.
Do not disturb airplane mode and the ringer shut off, and it's still Siri still answered.
Okay.
gosh.
What were you gonna say? You didn't realize what?
I didn't realize that they only allowed one lease per unit. Now we've had co-living where we had one lease per bedroom, right? Like we had an 8-bedroom house and there were 8 leases.
How are you referencing that? So, like, what's your experience with that, I guess?
No direct experience because all my
Okay.
places are in St. Paul.
Okay.
But just general knowledge of how rental licenses work and workarounds to an unlicensed unit. Having them sublet from the current folks or putting them on the same lease, I think. But I could be wrong.
Got it.
But it's certainly general. This is how most people are operating.
Yeah, and I've got one unit that I have like 3 suites, and I do separate leases, but I could potentially combine. Yeah, I'm not. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. But
Yeah, because let's say you're doing rent by the room or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Everyone could be on their own lease.
That's
but
what
they're
we've
within
done.
legal-
That's what we've done before.
That's what I'm doing, essentially, and that's what I'd be doing at that duplex. So creating that mother-in-law suite would add another, $900 to $1,000 in rent. Right now, that property isn't cash flowing, even though I got it at a pretty good price for Kingsfield neighborhood in Minneapolis. It was
It's
a
just that
duplex.
it's Kingsfield neighborhood, so it's gonna
Yeah, it's just the trying to make it work for a duplex that I'm not occupying. I was debating about occupying it just because I like that neighborhood. Like it's kind of a fun Victor's Cuban Revolutionary restaurant.
That place rules.
Yeah, so there's like a
I don't
lot of
think
fun
I've been to
stuff.
that
The lakes.
What else is around there? I mean, for people's knowledge, really, can you give us some idea of the
You're talking
the boundaries?
Kingfield, right?
Yeah, Kingsfield.
Yeah, what's the boundaries of Kingfield?
Well, you got the
Roughly. I
Oh,
mean,
you're
we don't
talking
have
about-
to be precise.
No, I could do it. Let's see. Well, you look at 35W.
Okay.
It's going to be to the west of 35W. Think of like 35th and Lindale
Okay.
being...
close
Like is-
proximity to Lake Harriet. That's probably the easiest. If you know what Lake Harriet is, it's just just to the right or to the east of that.
To the east, yeah, but you're not quite into East Harriet yet. So it's kind of south of Lindale. I don't know. I should look it up. Hey, make it to the end of this episode, and I will research the answer to what we're all speculating on.
The the multiple leases on one unit, essentially. Renting by the room, how to best do that. So,
its boundaries are 36th Street to the north, Interstate 35W to the east, 46 to the south, Lindale to the west.
Okay.
So it doesn't quite go to the lake, but just think east of the lake. It's cheaper than being in like East Harriet, or what would the Primo neighborhood be over here? Obviously, you want to make your way, like Lyndhurst, right, is going to be a class above. Tangletown is a class above. Obviously, Fulton and Linden Hills, then you're getting into like the really desirable areas. But Kingfield, you can still find a duplex in the mid fours, right?
Yeah, and this one I got for $300.
There you go.
So
if you're in your Kingfield,
It's still hard to make it work.
It is, unless I get that mother-in-law suite up and running, and I got to do that, somewhat creatively.
Yeah.
So
what's the unit mix right now? Like before you add the basement, what is it? What is that property?
That property, it'd be 4 levels of living, including that basement.
Okay.
The upper unit is a 2-1 technically, but it has like a den up in the upstairs and kind of a living room on the top floor, and then the first floor is just a 1-bedroom. So
that's what hurts, right? It's that first floor being a 1-bedroom that makes it hard to. Does it break even as is or no?
Yeah, it's about it's not much. So it's partially is because the utilities aren't separated either. So that doesn't help the cause. But again, the price point was like, oh man, 2 years ago, that was just when interest rates were getting higher. Mm-hmm. And 2020, fall of 2023, I guess, 2 years ago. And so it looked like a pretty good deal that I wanted to secure. And I was debating about living there.
And long term, I'm sure it will be, right? I mean, this is a long term play.
But if anybody wants to buy it, I'm willing to sell it.
You want to share the address? We got a lot of listeners.
Yeah, 3816 Grand Avenue. So if you want a nice little lifestyle.
You said 316?
Nope, 38. So 38th.
Okay.
It's on 38th Street and Grand.
Sound like enough numbers.
So 3816 Grand Avenue South.
Yeah, what do you want for it?
Looking at $395.
Okay.
$395K. And we'll get that basement all set up. So.
What's the heating? Is it a boiler system?
The heating is a boiler system, yep.
Okay. Window AC, or does it have separate AC or anything like that?
Just window, yeah.
Okay.
Nice garage, like a little larger than 2-car garage. It's got like a little extra.
Nice.
How do you decide what you're willing to sell and what you're definitely holding?
So right now I have 6 properties and I'm only wanting to have 3.
This sounds like a good
but
good
I've
part of the
collected
episode.
some
We're gonna have to
based
talk about
upon competing models. Like I want to have 3, then just keep rotating the units up, getting more and more units. So keep it very simple, very tight, very executable as far as rental.
Yeah.
What do you mean by rotating the units up?
So 1031 exchanging, so selling, owning for at least 3 years, let it kind of season, I guess.
Yep.
And then rotating it up. So I've been doing that. The most I have right now is a 5-plex, but I've got 2 5-plexes, some 4-plexes, 2 4-plexes, a duplex, and a single family / my cabin.
So you want your maximum amount of properties that you're holding at one time to be 3, and then you're on an approximate 3-year cycle to exchange them for a property of more units.
Yeah, I evaluate, I kind of put my finger in the air and see where things are.
Sure.
Right now it's a little bit, I don't know.
A little bit what?
It doesn't seem like it's a great market to sell in per se, but
I'd agree with that.
I would say being ready for that when it becomes a good market is good. So, and you never know. Like somebody might be in the market for something like this. So, I Yeah, I can't remember what the original question was, but
Well, how do you determine what you're going to hold, what you're going to sell? Because
yeah.
I feel like all of us as landlords, I can think of which property of mine right now is on the chopping block.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it's a location thing. You know, I'm just trying to be tighter, closer to home.
well, naturally the twoplex or duplex plus 8, mother-in-law suite is the lowest number of units. So that one's on the chopping block. This 5plex that's also on the chopping block. So I'm just looking at which ones. I mean, honestly, like the ones that are maybe not as much rent as the others. I want to keep those really high earning rent ones, the ones that are good, that are easy renters. So
To me, that's the big one. If you're going to self-manage, then having a property that rents easily, that attracts people who like to pay, and et cetera, right? Like those kind of things are nice factors. I mean, we're not talking about sometimes people look at like number of units as a major factor, and I think it's important. But like if you got a 4-unit that's grossing a lot of rent, it's really easy to manage. It might be more valuable to you than your 5-unit, right? I mean, in theory, And
it feels good, like when the tenants get super excited about the place, or they just love living there. Like I got this 5plex that the people, like one of the tenants would love to buy into the ownership of it. The others are like all signing 2-year leases. They just love living at that location. It's not too far away from where that duplex is that I'm trying to sell. So
give us let's talk about that one. What's the location of that one?
That one is 2 blocks away from 3816 Grand. That's 212 West 37th Street. And that one I 1031 exchanged from a 4plex to a 5plex. Not a super big reach, but I actually have no loan on that one. So like it just nets really well if you don't have a loan. So and that one, I call it the Europlex. So it's kind of got a European vibe to it. The nice woodwork, you come in, it's huge entryway. Nice layout, just a lot of character within it, and all the front sunrooms are south facing, so I think everybody gets lots of really good light. I don't know, I think it all adds up, and then very neighborly neighborhood. So there's a school, there's a center for performing arts, there's those restaurants, there's a lot of, not too far from the lakes, so there's a lot of lifestyle things, even though there's like no parking on the property.
I was going to say, how's the parking?
None, but they don't mind. They don't mind parking on the street.
Well, it must be an okay
bike
area
lifestyle.
for that then, obviously.
What's that?
Must be an area where you can do that, obviously, where, street parking's available, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Are these 1-bedroom units, 2-bedroom units? What are they?
Those are, I advertise them as 3-bedroom, but it's 2-bed plus a sunroom.
Yeah, okay.
So the sunroom is, actually none of them are enclosed yet, but so.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. About 1,000 square feet per.
Yep.
Are you okay with breaking down the numbers of this deal in particular? Like, when did you buy it and what did you pay for it? And just kind of the basics of the deal.
Bought it in 2022, I believe.
Okay.
And $875 is what I paid. That was when interest rates were really low. I bought it cash by 1031 exchanging my best real estate deal, which was this 4plex, kind of Art Deco mansion that had been converted into 4plex that I sold, and made a lot out of that.
You converted it?
No, it was converted already. I was just the caretaker of that property that needed a lot of work. So I sold that one, and then I refinanced my own house, which is a 4plex, at 2.875, pulled out the cash, and then bought this cash.
Yeah.
And then the plan was like, I don't know, I'm totally okay taking loans out. I don't like to be over leveraged, but like at some point, if I needed to pull out cash out of that, I could then put it right into something else.
Something else, yeah.
And I just haven't had that need, I guess, and it's nice to have full rent coming off of that mostly. So
yeah. Well, like you said, when you don't need to, and sounds like you found a great way to leverage it.
Yeah. I'd like to leverage that even more, at some point, either by pulling money out or selling it and then rotating up to something even bigger.
Can we go back, Joe? Because I think we met one time. Somebody connected us. Gosh, we have a mutual friend. He was into short-term rentals for a bit. It was the first time I was ever in a Tesla in my life. He drove a Tesla.
Oh, Donovan.
What's his first name?
Donovan.
No, his first name's not Donovan. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
This is not interesting to the
Yeah.
listeners. I'll figure it out. But we have a mutual friend, and you were thinking about doing Airbnb at a place in Powderhorn. Maybe
Park Ave.
Could have been. Yep, sounds
Okay.
right.
Yep.
And so then I met him because he was going to be like the intermediary or whatever.
Oh.
And you guys wanted advice from someone. Should we short-term rent out this place? Whatever. That's how we met. And
it was. I'm pretty sure it was Park Ave property. It was a triplex that I had one unit that had a vacancy. That was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, or 3-bedroom, 1-bath.
place.
Yep.
But where'd you come from, dude? How'd we get here? Where'd you give us a little background?
Yeah, I kind of accidentally. So I had a condo, and then I bought my first house right after the housing market crashed in 2009. And
You owned a condo, so you became an accidental landlord? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you mean by you had a condo and then you bought a house?
well, I had a condo, bought a house, then I left for Boston. So then
Did you rent the condo or did you sell
I had
the
to rent
condo?
both of those. So that's why I'm saying I'm accidental, because I wanted to go to Boston with my girlfriend who was going to grad school there. So I did that, rented it, found out it was pretty easy to do that. Like I had my dad maybe even do a turnover once. And so it was pretty easy, especially with the condos.
Anyway, this is around 2009, 10-ish?
Yep. And so I started that way, found out, and then I was like, I did some travels where I was like, man, I really want to be able to do this more, so real estate can be a gateway to be able to liberate myself, which I eventually did from the 9 to 5. It was building so I bought a foreclosure that house in St. Paul, 3-bedroom, 1-bath for like 87 after the housing crash. Yep. And then moved to Boston. And then when I came back, I was supposed to do a round the world trip. Instead, I shortened it to Africa, British Isles, and California.
Wow.
And bought this was a crazy deal. 2011 bought a 4-bed, 2-bath, north end of St. Paul, $28,000.
Wow.
So that was a category 2 vacant house. So I didn't know what I was getting into, but I was like, this is going to be my education. It's going to be some people pay for degrees. This is my degree on how do I do this? Mm-hmm. And I learned, and then I bought another category 2 vacant house on the Dayton's Bluffs area for $45,000. Again, you had to pay cash, so that limits a lot of people. Then you had to have the cash to do the renovation. And then you swiftly, I swiftly.
This was still during the crash period?
But yeah, this is 2011 to 2013.
Yeah.
How are you finding these deals at
for
the
people
time?
who don't know, he had to pay cash because banks just had no appetite to lend on anything risky at all. And
I didn't even know about hard money lending at that point either. So I was just like, this was money that I saved to do a round the world trip, and was gonna maybe not be able to work. So I had to have all this money saved. So I used it to buy this house, renovate it, rented it, and then my business model at that time was buy a house that I can triple in value for whatever I paid. So $28,000, that's not very hard to do.
Yeah.
The next one, 45, a little bit more challenging. And then bought a duplex in that same North End neighborhood for 87. And then basically, you capture a ton of equity on those. So then you just burr it, which I didn't even know what that term was. Later, I was like, oh yeah, that's what I'm doing, burr. Okay.
It was not invented when this was happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, essentially
the term was not.
Taking that equity and snowballing it. You can keep, if you buy cash, you can keep pulling cash out, putting in the next one, pull cash out, pull it in the next one, pull cash out, put it in the next one. That's why I really like having cash in one property. If you can do it, it's like such a great tool in investing. So if you can get that really rough house, it's a lot of work. Probably cost me a relationship, actually. But,
You did the work yourself? Is that why, or was it just other?
At that time, I had, because you needed 4 different trades, I had all those trades lined up while I was living in Boston.
Wow.
And so that when I came back, hit the ground running, I could just get it done. Because I had 3 weeks before moving back from Boston and traveling to Kenya, where my little sister lived, and my girlfriend at the time was going to be working in a refugee camp. So that was exciting. That was like, 3 weeks. Had everything done in those 3 weeks except for the windows, which Window World.
When you say you
I
like
used Window World one time. Yeah.
when you say you like to keep cash in one property, do you mean like, what do you mean? Like you always have a big snowball of wealth in cash ready to buy a property, and then you refi, and then you kind of recycle that cash. That's essentially what you're saying, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you can buy a property cash, so like at that time, if you had $28,000, you could buy a property cash, $15,000 to renovate. You could then have refinance that. I think, did I refinance it? I'm not sure if I refinanced it or just sold it. But when you sell it, essentially you're getting the same thing, a bunch of equity, a bunch of cash. Then you can put that into the next thing, and then you just keep going like that.
Yeah,
So,
that makes sense.
yep.
So, and we have a visual aspect to the podcast, obviously, all these cameras. If you want to take us through, you don't have to take us through every single deal, but if you feel like sharing any addresses or anything, we're going to have like a screen share aspect.
Oh,
like
okay.
if there's a certain deal that kind of stands out and it's easily accessible on the MLS, it's easier for me to get like before photos.
So the fun one, the 899 Western, that was the $28,000 house.
899 Western
Avenue.
And that's a single family?
Single family. It's got a turret in the front, spiral staircase in the living room.
So it's a cool place, or no?
Kinda, yeah.
Or was it? Yeah,
I lived there for a little while.
28,000 because it was just a dump. It was.
I mean, there was a lot of
When you
people
bought
looking
it,
at this, and I bid 32, and then I negotiated them down to 28 because they hadn't given me the list of things. So that was the one I really look as my like degree in real estate, if you could say. And then I just kind of did similar things to like single families, duplexes, and then 1031 exchange. Eventually I moved to Minneapolis because there was a fourplex available for $133,000. That actually.
Do you remember what year that was?
That was 2014. Okay. And that was
just before things really started to take off.
What was that address?
That was 3016, I think, 21st Avenue. You
get a good memory, man. Most people could not.
Yeah,
do what you're doing right now.
questioning that, but it's right next to South High School. So literally, I'd lived there. I mean, this was a shitty fourplex, really bad. My mom was like, "You're not going to buy this, are you?"
There were years and years where that neighborhood was.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah,
I mean, it was rough, but it was turning, and basically, I mean, it's still not super nice, but you got the Y there, the light rail. I could look out at the South High School football field, watch them. It was super. So that one I turned into intentional community, which intentional community just means like you're living together with people that are kind of like, neighbors. You might have a meal together or something like that. So that was, and it had a nickname to it called Dreamland.
Oh,
and so that was.
So this was like a more thoughtful community living or co-living place.
That one, that one was a bunch of friends. I'm still friends with those guys. Okay. So 4 one-bedroom units. We had another intentional community right next door, called the Lake House, and another one, maybe 2 blocks away.
Interesting.
We had these 3 groups of friends. It was so cool. Like, it was a really magical year. It happened to be the year that I was taking a sabbatical from my job, and I figured out I didn't have to go back. After renovating that fourplex, I figured
that's crazy. What was your job then? What did you?
I was an insurance adjuster for Travelers Insurance, so I went into houses and estimated, and it was super helpful for this because I could estimate, everything in a house and kind of ballpark know, and then also know what went wrong, a lot of times with like mold or water and stuff like that. So things didn't intimidate me, if you saw something like water leaking, I'm like, oh, I can probably figure that one out, so, or I know how much it would cost. So
what was like the common bond when you say the intentional community? That's
Yep.
interesting. What did you guys have in common? Y'all skateboarders or?
we were all friends. I actually I was just super curious about this concept. So like when I lived in Boston, I started getting curious. I'm like, there's not really any there. So when I came back, I like started a tour of these. So like I just led a tour and invited people, and we like biked. Some people biked, and we just saw all the different models and ways of doing this. And I'm like, man, people don't know about these things. Like,
I've never heard that term. No,
I still need more explanation though.
Yeah. So it's just a wide a word that can encompass a lot of different things, but basically the gist of it is like you have some kind of social cohesion. So that could be
a step above roommates, it sounds like, right? In terms of like, that's what you mean by social cohesion. Like,
Yeah,
you're
well-
not just roommates, you're friends, but not necessarily going in. Like,
And your
I've
values
seen-
are aligned, probably.
doesn't necessarily mean that.
Okay.
I mean, but more than
Probably
likely,
does,
yeah,
huh?
you get to pick and choose usually who you're gonna have live there.
typically
So-
multifamily or single family.
It can be either. So
Okay.
right now I live at 1 Dreamland 2.
Dreamland too.
And it kind of I would say it oscillates between co-living, just being very neighborly, and like having a little bit more intentionality, like we'll have a movie night or campfire night, or
That's so cool.
and it kind of ebbs and flows with the people. Like some people are introverted and they just don't put any effort, but like the intention is there to like have maybe a little bit more interaction, but people don't have a lot of time. So
this is right now. It's a small multifamily property that you live in. How many units?
it's a fourplex, 7,000 square feet. So it's a larger building.
Okay.
One suite in the lower level is Airbnb, and that's midterm rental. So
Can we pull this up? You mind sharing, or do you want to not?
I actually don't want to one.
Totally fair, because you live there.
Yeah, because I live there. Yeah,
It's on the internet.
So So then, and this one, so one of them I do Airbnbs and midterm. So they're kind of a temporary member, and like sometimes they're like, oh, I like this, I'm gonna live here if there's an opening. That's one lady that did that this summer, and but otherwise it just gives you a way to kind of test it, I guess. So
Out of curiosity, how would you communicate that online through Airbnb? Do they have a separate like category for that type of stay? Because I could see people go, if you're coming in and it's more intentional living rather than just short-term rental. Yeah. How do you just communicate like, hey, is it just hey, they know they're sharing a room, or what's the...
I kind of tell them about how the house is set up, and then like they don't have to join in anything, but it's kind of off in its own little area. Everything, they have their own little kitchenette. They don't necessarily need to interact. Yeah,
Okay.
but I really find it cool when they do, like it's
Sure.
super interesting, like to have these people from all, especially the people who are moving here to the city being kind of a welcome mat for the city. I really love to be that.
Break it down. The starting of Dreamland 2. Like, how do you set it up?
Yeah.
So, oh man, that's a story in itself. So let's try to be real concise.
We got nothing but time, Joe.
Dreamland 1 sold to the city of Minneapolis for basically triple what I paid for it.
And they bought it because they wanted to tear it down, or
They
something?
wanted to
or what?
build all the education center, which they did.
Okay.
So and they tore it down. So it's no longer here. Just in our memories. So, so I 1031 exchange was going to 1031 exchange into something else, and I actually found the Dreamland 2, and I was like, oh my god, this is the perfect house for this.
A big,
But-
beautiful fourplex, 7,000 square feet.
I didn't know if it was going to sell yet. In fact, I had to go to a community meeting, talk to the architect, and he's like, oh yeah, it's a done deal. We already bought them. And I already had this house under contract because I was like, no matter what, I got to get this.
I see.
So I didn't know. There was some uncertainty whether that house would sell. It did sell. I exchanged it into that. Oddly enough, both were St. Patrick's Day of 2014, and then Dreamland 2 is St. Patrick's Day of 2015. And so,
So you didn't own it very long at all.
Dreamland 1 was a 1-year experiment.
1-year deal, okay.
Yeah, and so it's very special, like that time period, because it was, there was just a lot of fun components to it. Dreamland 2's been, that was a real, I converted, City saw it as a duplex to a fourplex.
Okay.
So that was another education that took 3 years of my life, but it's my best property for net income.
Yeah.
But
did they make you do all kinds of fireproofing? Like,
exactly.
What were the things that give us like a list?
But wait, before we get into that, I still don't understand the co-living aspect.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there's a couple interesting caveats in between. So the city basically, I thought I was buying a fourplex. They said, no, it's a duplex. So you got to bring it up to today's code. So all the members wanted to move over to Dreamland 2. They couldn't because they said you either stay as a duplex or you convert to a fourplex. So I said I'm going to do fourplex. They said nobody else can live there but you in this big 7,000 square foot house. So we ended up starting a coalition out of kind of the ashes of that to change the laws in Minneapolis. So we actually did with a coalition a intentional community ordinance, which allows people to go beyond the zoning, beyond 3 people per unit, which was the zoning at the time.
So let's reframe that, because it's not 3 people. Just so everyone knows, federal law, you cannot discriminate against families, right? So if you're unrelated, if you're related, there are different rules, okay? But if you're unrelated, you can't have more than 3 unrelated. So if I thought it was 4. So you mean 3 additional,
It
right?
can be, depending on, St. Paul's 4, I think. The way it was then was 3 and 5.
Got it.
5 in some more like university areas.
Yeah, and just to be clear too, there are fire regulations. So that doesn't mean you can have like a family of 14 in any unit. There are space limitations, stuff like that. But as a general rule, they're not going to limit the number of people, with the exception of the size. Of
you can go beyond that, but there's still safety concerns.
Yep.
With an intentional community ordinance. So like these old boarding houses, they were basically hiding in the shadows. They had 9 people in a single family, and they were hiding in the shadows because they couldn't like say, "Hey, this is what we're doing." They're very cautious about it. Anyway, that is now legal. There's some requirements for the intentional community ordinance, but
got it.
Anyway,
so you guys helped draft it and fight for it and everything else.
Yeah, I went in front of the city council and talked about it. Like this is you want affordable housing. This is a way you can do it easily. All you need is like a pathway for people to do that.
Not to mention, let's face it, I mean, government should serve the people, and if this is what people want to do, and there's no real harm to it, then why would we stop it, right?
Yeah.
The only harm I can see is, again, you could use something like that as a situation with no boundaries to like overpack a house,
boarding
like that,
house,
right?
boarding
like,
homes, yeah.
Yeah, like you could, but outside of that, I mean, if it's safe and everything else, parking on some level, yeah.
We have a 4-bedroom, and there's 8 adults living in there, and it's in a residential neighborhood. And then you got 8 cars, and get it.
Yeah. So anyway, your question was how do you do this?
I want to do this. I want to set up an intentional community. How did you do it this time? What did you learn? What did you do differently? Stuff like that. 10
bedrooms. I first did Airbnb in the interim because it was a little bit of a gray area. So I Airbnb'd the whole house, and then I figured out, that's actually not so hard either. I just went. I set up a single high air
all over the place.
I set up a single high air mattress, and it got booked right away from Kmart. And so that first year, it wasn't an intentional community. It was Airbnb house. I actually started with couch surfing before that, which was hosting for free because I love doing that. And then I did Airbnb, which I love doing that too. And then eventually, as soon as things were able to like be legit with the city, the 2-bedroom, like the second floor became the first members, and then it's just been kind of going. Since then, I've been flowing with the members, whether it's actually community or not. And I've moved out. Lived in Switzerland. I've lived in Lindstrom since that time, and then I come back, and now I'm back.
That in and of itself is just like crazy to me, but also cool.
Yeah, and I'm also like on my floor right now. I'm hosting 2 foreign exchange students, one from Switzerland, one from Italy. So I don't know. It's a little bit of a canvas to paint, so to speak. The community part.
Tell me if I'm wrong. If I want to start my own intentional community, I just really need to get some like-minded individuals together. Hey, do you want to live in this house? I'm buying this house.
You don't even need to do that. You just need to advertise and attract that.
Where do people?
And then you have a list of questions, and then you kind of decipher, and then everyone can do it different. You can structure it however you want. This is your canvas to paint, but basically, there's books too about intentional community living and how to structure it, and there's some probably best practices to do this, and it can be financially rewarding. Because you're essentially renting by the room, creating this fun experience for people, maybe even a premium. But a lot of people in intentional communities are looking for cheaper, sometimes.
So it's not necessarily, yeah.
Well, loneliness is a problem.
Exactly.
Housing affordability is a problem. When you have kids, you realize, do you have kids?
I don't. I have 2 foreign exchange students right now.
Perfect.
So I'm being a father in a weird way. Yeah.
Well, tell me if I'm wrong, Tim. When you have kids, you kind of realize how humans are meant to live in packs, because putting a bunch of crazy kids alone in a house with one woman for 8 hours a day is difficult, and probably there's nothing natural about that. So I think there's all sorts of angles you could. I wonder how does fair housing.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about the same thing.
I think
because
that's
of the
where
screening, right?
Yeah, if you're owner occupying and it's fourplex, you can still pick and choose. Is my understanding.
Correct.
So if you go beyond
choose
that,
in your unit, right?
I think in the house actually. I could
we
be wrong
let
about
this one be. Let's
Yeah,
let
I'd have to research that because it's been a while since I've really looked close. But in your own unit, you can choose essentially whatever you want, right down to the sex and the religion. There's I'm positive of that.
Yeah.
But once you cross over a unit, there's certain things you can't choose. And
See, I thought if
religion, I believe, is one of them, if I remember correctly. Of course, race, stuff like that.
I thought if you had a duplex, you could select in that other who your neighbor is going to be.
I don't believe so.
Huh. Okay.
But I also could be wrong. I'm not planting a flag here, but I'm pretty sure.
And usually, I just advertise, and usually it attracts people that are interested in that.
Yeah.
Too.
There are some. I believe there are some relaxing. I think you're right in that it's relaxed, but it's not like you can choose everything.
Here's what this could be wrong. This is ChatGPT, but the Federal Fair Housing Act.
Yep.
You are exempt from it if you own the fourplex, if you live in one of the units, if there's 4 units or fewer total, so it stays within that residential category. You don't use a broker or agent because the broker obviously can't break the. And then you can't use discriminatory advertising. So And you know what?
Which means what though? In that case,
I think familial status is going to be the one that you're worried about.
Section 8 in Minneapolis now is one of those.
But think about all the protected classes. Someone with an intentional community hopefully is not being racist or sexist. I guess you could, but it could be a gender thing.
You can actually be sexist. I know that for sure. In certain areas, right? For example, a woman doesn't need to be forced to live with a man. For example,
sharing bathrooms.
That would be the thing we'd always use. Yeah.
But anyways, I think familial status would be the most commonly broken rule if you didn't have the exemption. But again, just don't put in your advertising. Then you could break it to people. But, consult your attorney, folks. This could be wrong.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what a cool concept.
And in my portfolio, the different properties that I have, this is, I don't know, I got 2 intentional communities now. So there's another one that
Dreamland 3?
It's actually called the Lake House, which is homage to that one that used to live next to us. So, and that started last spring out of a fourplex as well. I think fourplexes are a little bit more ideal. Just seems like it's And so the other properties too, like the Europlex, for example, I have a nickname for each property. The Europlex is, I think, just an organic kind of community.
It wasn't set up that way, but it worked out.
So I just be the caretaker for that, But I when I go to my rental property, I ask the new tenant, would you like to get introduced to the other tenants and try to connect them, so that they're all, neighborly. So it's very simple thing.
My triplex over on Dayton kind of turned into an intentional community with me doing nothing, but it's in a good part of town. It's nice units. And I happen to have nice tenants. Yep. And then you go over there and you hear like, oh, you guys are having dinner together? Like, that's awesome. Or they're working on the yard together.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just come up with a name. And now it'll be my intentional community. Because it's already happened.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Cool.
Very cool. Yeah. I'm wondering if you're going to get the 90210 where it's the young kids are all hooking up.
Oh, for sure. That's
Real World. Wasn't Real World kind of that same... Well,
that could be Dream World, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's... Yeah, I'm still fascinated. I mean, I've been down this rabbit hole for like 11 years, and I'm still kind of fascinated with what you can do with this, even though it's never been to that, high level of what sometimes you expect out of that, Or I would like to see, like, everybody being friends, like, hanging out, like...
Totally. What other things would you like to try, or like, do you have any other ideas? Yes. If you were going to build an intentional community tomorrow, like, is there anything new you'd?
Yeah, I would like to do like. Have you guys heard of Hip Camp?
Never.
Mm-mm.
Okay, Hip Camp's like Airbnb for camping.
Okay.
So somehow integrating like an outdoor lifestyle component entwined with it, which is challenging in Minnesota because our winters.
And people have to like the same outdoor activities. It's like. One thing if you like let's say fishing and hiking, or for example, but if you don't like into camp, then you're not going.
Well, there's like Minnesota Eco Village that just started up last year, which is an intentional community up in Sandstone, and they started off living in fish houses.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty Wild West up there. I was there, I think around Halloween, but I think. Having something where you're getting away from all the digital stuff, like being more outside, away from that, maybe a little bit more naturally in tune with how our minds have evolved, would be kind of an interesting way. Some place that maybe is temporarily living there, like the Airbnb or Hip Camp, I think is what creating this. Like I've been to, there's a Hip Camp down in Austin, Texas that I go to the last 3 years, and it's an unintentional community, but it's like this old man has like these Airstreams, and you can set up your tent there, and they have like a sing-along potluck that you sit around the campfire, and this is when South by Southwest is going on, and I'm just like, man, I love living like this. Obviously, it's like the weather is beautiful. It's 70, 80 degrees, and it's still snowing here. And so, yeah, I think having something like that would be a dream that I'd like to bring into fruition. If anybody else has that dream, open to collaborating on that.
Well, it sounds like you could buy the land and bring in trailers, and campsites are pretty easy to do.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily.
I think it's within your reach if you want it. If you.
I don't need to necessarily own it either. I can just go, like that place in Austin, I'm just totally fine with paying whatever I want to pay and then like being part of this community for a week, kind of.
Yeah.
Do people normally bring their own tents on Hip Camp? I'm on the website right now.
There's a variety of different ways that you can do that. So you can bring your own tent, you can bring your own van, you can bring your own RV, you can have that all set up for you. So you can just go and have it all set up. Like there's yurts, there's tiny homes.
Hip glamping then?
Glamping, yeah. Essentially. Yeah, it's like already set up. I've done it at least 4 or 5 times, and I would love to do more of that.
It's interesting that, so there's certain filters when you're on hipcamp.com. There's camping style, and you either pitch your own tent or find places that fit your RV, or glamping or lodging. Okay, so that's
got
accommodations
there,
provided.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it looks like, $30 a night is kind of where the market is at for the greater Twin Cities area.
And I did a Hip Camp in Chicago, like urban Chicago.
Yeah.
This is wild. I just did this fall. It's right next to a railroad track, and then they have a auto body shop. And then, so they don't really have any neighbors per se that are going to really care. So they have this like double lot. It's like a kind of almost like a triplex. And then they got like a urban farm with like goats and chickens and like a little stage. I imagine they have like music, people playing music there. And we just set up our tent, me and the foreign exchange students. And yeah, we just had like an urban camping. We biked to downtown to Chicago, and super fun and interesting. Like they're going to remember that, you know, like it's
my mind is blown. This is a part I didn't know this existed, right? Like, I mean, you know, that's
the thing.
There's like a part of the world I didn't know happened until today. So thank you.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of these, or not, I shouldn't say a lot. People don't know about these things, intentional communities, you know, as much. So hopefully.
Have you always been like pretty extroverted and social?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it that also plays. I like connecting with people, and so
yeah. Are there any other communities that you're part of in the Twin Cities, like outside of being a landlord?
Dance church.
Cool.
Yeah, dance church. It's like a
I've heard of it.
Community.
I've heard of it as well, but I don't know anything.
Yeah, so every Sunday from 11 to 1, there's a DJ at Tapestry Dance Studio on 38th, and in Minneapolis, and it's completely silent. Nobody's talking. I mean, you might be able to say hi or give a hug to somebody if you know them. And man, I just come alive. It's it brings something out in the human spirit, I think, for a lot of the people who go there. You know, like it's not everybody's cup of tea. Not everybody loves to dance, but like if you do, man, high energy. Like,
but there's no music.
Oh no, there's a DJ.
Oh, okay. I think you said it was silent. Oh, got it.
You just can't, like, there's no conversations happening. If you do, you're gonna do that in the entryway, and that creates like more space to get out of your mind and into your body, essentially. And it's not for everybody. Like I said, my foreign exchange student came there and he was like, "Oh my god, this is the weirdest thing ever."
So is it like a music? Is it varied or is it a certain type? Is it in any way, shape, or form church related or Christian related, or is it?
Well, I'll say this spiritually, like I find it more uplifting and more spiritual than any church that I've ever been to. Mm-hmm. Like, like that almost like transcendent. You're like feeling connected to everything when you're doing it. I know that sounds weird, but I think if you really can tune into that, like tune in, get out of your head, it's pretty magical. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's been just packed lately. Like, so yeah. Anyway,
you're invested in a lot of areas of Minneapolis that have seen like changes, ups and downs over the past however many years.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think what sort of positive signs do you see in some of these areas, or if any? And like what advice would you have for somebody listening who's wondering about some of these areas? Powderhorn, for example.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it's, I've lived like 3 or 4 other places: St. Paul, Boston, Basel, Switzerland. The thing that really, and I've traveled all around the world, the community, and that's a missing component for a lot of people in their lives right now, is like community. And if you can integrate into like a dance church community or like something like that, Minneapolis really has a lot of that flavor of like where I started, the lake house. Like that whole block had a WhatsApp group, and they'd meet up for coffee and happy hour once a month. And I was like, man, this is what I want. I wanted to start something like that, but they're already doing it. So like so I actually lived at that lake house, and that was 34th and Aldrich area. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Took a really dilapidated brownstone fourplex and brought it back to life, and the neighbors were just like so excited about that. So like it feels really good to do something like that, taking these houses that were not taken care of and really bringing it back and then getting integrated with the community. I think Minneapolis does that well, the community part of it, and like with their infrastructure, like the biking, the Midtown Greenway, small businesses are, some are thriving, some are going away, but at the same time, yeah, it is a bit of a struggle, especially with what's going on now. I mean, it's just like we're just getting over like the George Floyd shit.
No kidding. Yeah.
And then I'm anticipating this also taking a hit. I'm just anticipating. I'm like, okay, this is just what's going to happen, and potentially
We were just talking about that.
We were talking about it before you got here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So I'm anticipating that, and I'm okay with it. Like it
You're okay with what? What taking a hit?
the rental market, real estate. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I've just adapted to that happening, and it'll probably come back again. Like give it 4 or 5 years or do political scenarios. It's just a weird one right now. Like I'm worried about this Airbnb guest. Like who is it? I'm being a little bit. I got Airbnb guests checking today, and he's from out of town, and I'm like, is this person coming in to cause trouble?
Oh,
sure.
interesting. What gives you?
Or yeah,
Well, it's a thought you have, right? I mean, maybe you don't even have.
because that's what happened during George Floyd. Like people from out of town came in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm doing a little bit more due diligence on it.
Yeah.
I would say, just to be on the safe side.
Well, now that you mention it, I guess I've heard of that, so
Yeah.
it makes sense. I could see how you see that. On the flip side, like when we talk positivity, I've noticed an extreme reduction in crime, and I'm not talking about like in the last few weeks or anything.
Yeah.
I'm talking like in the last year or so. I mean, extreme reduction in crime, maybe a year and a half, but like for sure within the last year. I mean,
there was homeless encampments near my house, so like I was getting used to that. Like
in the last year, I've only had one attempted break-in.
Yeah.
And prior to that, it was like it was constant.
Gosh,
Wow, where's
It
your
was
property?
it was the homeless camps I think it was the real problem.
Oh.
Cleaning those up made such a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Over off of Lake Street,
29th
Avenue in East Lake Street. So
okay.
On the what would you call that side? The first name that came to mind was Seward, but I don't think that's at all the Seward neighborhood. But it's that East Lake Street, nearer the river, but not right on the river, right? Because that place is all beautiful. There's no problems over there. Closer to the police station.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say this. I'm a little optimistic too, as I think about it through. I mean, we're in the midst of something right now, so like it's not harder to see through that. But like the Kmart, like I live right, they're connecting that for the first time ever. The Nicollet Avenue,
the Nicollet one on Lake Street. Oh, really?
They got plans for that area too. And there's been a ton of new construction, new buildings. There's one that hasn't even opened.
Wait, fill me in.
For those of you who don't know, the
old
Kmart's like a couple blocks wide. So what would happen is if you were driving north or south of it, you'd come up to the Kmart and then you'd have to drive around it. Think of like a big square to get back onto Lake Street. You couldn't drive through. The Kmart was like in the way where you would have a street. There was a big.
So what are you saying by they're connecting it? What does that mean?
Well, Nicolet's also known as Eat Street, so there's a ton of really fun restaurants. Glamdall Donuts, Eat Street Crossing. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Eat Street Crossing, but it's this super cool. Like they have dances there. They have a ton of like social activities, and it's this old curtain factory where they used to create curtains. So like huge ceilings. Check it out. It's a cool place. So like that's right on the other end of Nicollet, and then I'm on the more south side, and there's all sorts of new residential, which will likely create people wanting business restaurants. Like all this new. So that's what makes me hopeful. And then like Lake Street was disconnected for the longest time, and same with Hennepin, and so like. It's not a big surprise that would hurt or like close a lot of the businesses. I mean, some of them were on the way out anyhow, just because of the way our new patterns of
Commerce.
Retail is like non-existent. So, or like becoming, with Amazon.
Yeah.
So, but like that opening up, you got a bus lane on there, which is, haven't really thought too much about pros and cons of that, but, yeah, I mean, you're right near the lakes. I don't know. I also see the Midtown Greenway, which is just an awesome. I mean, how many other places have a bike freeway in the middle of the city?
Right.
Like, that is such a gem of South Minneapolis.
And in my opinion, is we should have more bike freeways but less bike lanes. I think mixing cars and bikes intentionally is stupid and unsafe. I think we should have streets that are like more or less for bikes. I mean, you got to have people have egress to their house, but like that's the safe way to do it. And then you don't have fighting. You don't have the plow issues. You have better flow of traffic. You have better flow of bikes. Everyone wins. That's my,
Yeah, I mean, I lived in a very bike-friendly city in Basel, Switzerland. If you ever bike in some of those cities, it's amazing, like the lifestyle that you can get. I like what Minneapolis is doing. Basically, they took where the old light rail or the streetcar system. We had this phenomenal streetcar system. And what they're doing is instead of having like a streetcar, they just do it yourself. Like bring your own bike, and you can transport yourself all along that. And they this was very controversial, but like if you look at it and use it, and I know some people are anti-bike or like they don't like quite as much, but like Bryant, that bike lane, it's awesome. I mean, it's pretty awesome if you're a biker. Like if you like to like go to lakes or my new fourplex, that was one of the reasons why I bought it, was because of that. You could advertise you're right on that. That'll connect you to the Midtown Greenway. And I think there's a lot of young people that are looking to do alternative transportations. Cars are expensive, and they just are, it's interesting having this conversation with like my foreign exchange students that basically live in places where they can just get around via train or bike. Using a car is a pain in the ass there. So, anyway.
Are they in college, the exchange students?
No, they're high school.
Okay.
So they're going to Washburn High School.
Cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if we'll get the market system that really because that's the bike thing. Another thing that's beautiful is when you have like small markets where you can get fresh food. You're not doing whole grocery shopping, right? You're just picking up little things and going, right? That's a different lifestyle than what we have here. Cub Foods and a bike doesn't go very well together, right?
Yeah.
But not
or just being able to walk to a grocery
just,
store. Yeah. Like I lived that lifestyle in Basel, Switzerland, and it was so convenient. So like, they'll get fresh bread. They'll get, here we buy everything like on a weekly basis or maybe at Costco. The whole Costco thing, like stocking up on that doesn't seem very fresh, and so I think
it doesn't seem.
Yeah,
you are right. It's what I'm gonna break something to you. It's not very fresh.
Yeah, right. And so although my Swiss foreign exchange student was fascinated, he's like, "Can we go to Costco?" That was like his number one thing. And I was like, I don't get it. Like I kind of understand it, but I would prefer my Aldi on the corner, like to get fresh stuff. So yeah.
Interesting.
Well, is there anything? We're coming up to the top of the hour here. But,
sure.
I mean, we're on your time here, Joe. Is there anything that you're working on, or is there anything in the current market that you find interesting? Trying to skew this conversation back towards real estate.
Well, so I'm hoping to look at a property in the next week. If you guys know of one to like renovate, I'm trying to actually find a partner to maybe even collaborate with on those 3 because I've got 6. Maybe he would want to take part ownership of those 3. And so
interesting.
Yeah, so teaming up with somebody. I've been a man on my own island for like too long. I'd like to collaborate. And so I'm looking at innovating this year. I'd almost like 10 years ago or 11 years ago, I took a sabbatical. So I'm almost wanting to take a sabbatical from what I'm doing right now. Not as though it's super time consuming. It can be, but so I'm innovating. I'm using Hemlane for property management, which I've experimenting with to see if the value is there for it this year. And then, I'm looking at that partner as potential somebody to do future stuff
what
with.
would a good partner look like to you?
A good partner would be somebody that I can trust, that we kind of share in both the profits and expense, maybe. I'm totally okay with that. And
Would it also be like a cash infusion? Like it's an alternative to selling? You have an equity stake in property A. Does your partner come in with cash?
He's got a small amount of cash, so that's where I'm trying to figure out is like how can it be a win for him and win for myself?
Oh, so this isn't a hypothetical. You have someone in mind right now.
We're currently what I would say I call it's a weird thing, dating. You know, I'm interviewing him, coming up with questions, visioning. Like, I would like to partner with this guy as it is right now, but I haven't seen him in the real world. So we're taking one step at a time. When I leave for 3 months to go to the other half of the world, China, he'll be taking the realm, so to speak. Not as though there'll be that much to do. It's just responding.
Because you have a PM too.
What's that?
You have a PM as well, property manager.
Hemlane kind of is, but...
Do they offer like an alternative type of service or what?
They offer it's like apartments.com, but then it has a monitoring system for maintenance. So if they need like emergency service, you can have everything routed, like your vendors all on there so that they can route them to that.
Oh, that's
They
cool.
also
What's it
offer
called?
Hemlane.
A little bit of a hybrid between a bridge between do-it-yourself.
Yeah.
And
The one thing I don't like is like I can't say like Hemlane is the property manager to the tenants. Maybe I can. I'm questioning that. I would like to have a delineation between myself and the tenants more, so I can just feel a little bit less weight on my shoulders, I guess you could say.
Kevin Apollinario and I were just talking about this concept. I don't know, a few weeks ago, because he's a tech-focused guy.
Yeah.
You know, could there be some sort of management system that automates the maintenance and vendor process? And
or AI even,
I mean,
I feel like eventually.
Not to really. I mean, they are our sponsor, but like Shuck is super close. It wouldn't be much for them to do that.
Oh,
Because
really?
they already have their vendor network, right? So all they
Yeah.
have to do is plug their vendor network into some sort of into your property.
Sure.
In
And
such a
there'd
way
be
where it's
some
like,
sort of automated of notifications, follow-up, invoicing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot to it.
I think I listened to your guys' you're talking about, somebody was talking about property managers, like how that kind of can oscillate, not perverse incentives, but it doesn't always work out well. Like I went to Switzerland and I had a property manager, and it was just a shit show. So like I was like, I want to do something different. Hemlane is one, and this partnering is kind of a different way of looking at it. And you can oscillate between like very simple, basic, cheap with Hemlane, middle of the road, essential, and like more full service. And they'll send vendors out for you. So
yeah, I mean, on the website, one of their many services, keep your tenants happy with 24/7 support. We connect you with top-rated experienced repair solutionist to make sure your repair requests are taken care of. But you're saying that you plug in your own people.
Yeah.
Okay, that's important.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool. What does the service cost approximately?
It's by the unit, and they offer a lot of a la carte, even doing showings and doing like eviction guarantee, like or warranting kind of.
Yeah.
But you have to do that throughout your portfolio. So it's going to be about $5,000 for 21 units
per year.
Per year.
Okay.
So $500 a month, or maybe less. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like a good value. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just starting. That was one of my goals this year, to like diversify my role so I can concentrate on bigger picture things.
Mm-hmm.
So that's hopefully where this time next year I'll be at.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
What's in China? You said your girlfriend's there. Is that connected to the China trip?
Yeah. So she lives in the Hong Kong area, and I've always wanted to go to China. So like I've been hosting her the last couple of months, along with the foreign exchange students. So we've had this interesting kind of like makeshift family.
Yeah.
Yeah. And anyway, I want to go to China to see like all the interesting things that are happening over there. They have so much change that's occurring. and such deep history that I'm just fascinated. So I'm really excited. I leave in like 2 weeks. Well, yeah. So.
Did she come here and then you became friends, or did you know her prior to coming here? Or what?
I
Is
met
this like a relation you got through your living?
I met her when I went.
Dreamland romance.
I met her at a hostel in Boston.
Okay.
On a
you've
walking
known her for
tour.
while. Okay.
And then we just continued to chat. And then, I wanted to make sure we were in alignment on things. And then, like, the next step was like, well, if we want to be, she wants to be my girlfriend, like, I actually have to be in person.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have it over. So she was open to, like, coming here and kind of this weird experiment that we're still working on. Like, it hasn't been easy because, it's kind of a weird thing. But anyway, it's been fun, too. A lot of fun. Like, she's been to a lot of like dance church and stuff like that. So, we're going to go to California for a couple weeks, show her more of the U.S. And then she's going to show me all around China.
Wow.
So which is
cool.
Yeah. I feel like that's the best way to travel is like get somebody who
Local. Yeah.
knows the place. Yeah. So
I'll be curious to find out what that trip and everything else brings in, just thinking about your business more, like what you come back with and what you create.
I think
sounds interesting.
They such a different way of living. They have common property. They kind of have ownership, but they don't really have ownership of the land. So like, it's an interesting, they have some pseudo different markets, but I think I will come back with some ideas from that. I always feel like I do something will rub off and I'll maybe integrate that into something new.
Very cool. Well, Joe, anything that you want to provide for our listeners? Anything we can do for you before we wrap this up? You don't have anything to sell.
I also
people,
have a fiveplex for sale.
Yeah, let's hear it, dude.
With a carriage house in the back. It's on. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Healy district. They're like these beautiful kind of Queen Anne.
What's the address?
3329
2nd Avenue.
So right along the highway,
So-
2nd
Yeah, right-
Avenue?
Right next to the freeway.
Yeah.
You got the wall up there, but like architecturally, like there's only so many of this house. This isn't actually a Healy house, but the next door house is, and some of them are.
Are you the green or the
no,
tan
the green
and
is the
brown?
Healy house. This one is yellow. The yellow one. It's got a little carriage house in the back, so like when that somebody looked like they were converting into an apartment, but it's not quite. It's not. I don't even think you can do that, but it's partially finished out there. So yeah.
And what do you want for it?
615.
And it's got how many units? 5 in a carriage house?
5 units, 10 bedrooms, 6 baths. It's actually been
It's
a
not the
pretty
worst
easy
deal in the
renter.
world.
Yeah, it's been a pretty easy renter. A lot of character.
It's be a great intentional community.
I
Right?
would love for it to be owned by cooperatively with the tenants. I've actually thrown that out to the to like take over ownership of it, which is kind of a weird idea.
Yeah, from a lending point of view in Minnesota, I don't really recommend cooperatives. They're just they're just so
as the
hard
legal
to-
one, LLC
Yeah.
probably more likely.
I would do it that way. Yeah, something
Yes.
like that, right? Yeah. Only because just like it's so difficult to get certain things done in cooperatives.
Yes,
If
agreed.
it's truly a cooperative as opposed to,
LLC. Yeah, I would say do the LLC. Like I would love to be part of creating some kind of like institutionalized intentional community like cooperative that lives beyond me.
The other thing is if you can do enough of them, it works. The problem in Minnesota, like in New
Yeah.
York, they're just fine because they're everywhere.
Yeah.
The problem in Minnesota is there's just a couple. I've done a loan on one, and it's just like comping it, and other factors for lenders are just really tricky. But if you can do enough of them, if you can find the financing, if you have the ability to finance it, and then somehow have the bank agree that you're going to do it this way, so it stays on.
So I'm the financer.
You still
kinda.
guarantee it? Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Something
thought
like
about
that.
that.
Well, I don't know,
Yeah,
but
I gotta weigh
interesting
that.
stuff, man.
Yeah. So
Well, let's do some more. I'm sure we'll see you at some meetups.
Yeah.
Let's.
We should do an intentional community meetup.
yeah.
People would like that.
I think so.
I want to try it. I'm very intrigued.
I mean, I think it's a untapped market, in many ways that could be just a win across the boards for the landlord, for the people who live there, for the city.
It sounds like it because it sounds like it could absolutely be like it's a version of co-living, right? But it's just probably a better, more defined and like because the problem with co-living, from my point of view, is that as a landlord you feel like a babysitter, and in this you're really not because the people
They can solve their own problems.
Yeah. So I wonder how it works when you don't set it up, when you're not, like if I'm the landlord, let's say, and I wanted to own a property that I wanted to, to have intentional living as opposed to co-living, how do I facilitate that? That would be that's what I'm thinking.
Well, there's a Facebook group called Intentional Communities Minneapolis, St. Paul, and that's a great place to network on that. Like, hey, you can even throw it there. I got this idea. Would anybody be interested? Or or there's people who are interested in this, but then they don't have the place yet. So, yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
All right, Joe. Well, thank you. Good luck on your trip. I hope you
you.
have a blast, and I'm sure we'll see you sometime during the summer during one of the meetups. Maybe you can
I'll be back in the spring.
In July in Adam's backyard, we're having a meetup. Maybe you can come. There'll be a bunch of people there. Well, it'll be about the right time to.
Oh, back here, huh?
Tell us about your trip. Yeah, we get a nice.
We also have an April one. Like I think, if I remember correctly, it's April 11th. Might be April 8th. It was one of the two. I've set them up. So, maybe by the time this comes out, it'll be live. We have a revamp to realestateinvesting.com, and you'll be able to go right to our website and find the meetup link and stuff. So.
Cool.
A little easier to find things.
We got a sexy new website, Joe. I don't know. I'm sure you're very familiar with our current website.
I'm actually not.
Yeah, I mean, it's a joke.
You shouldn't be.
Meetups. It's pretty bad.
It's bad.
And it's no one's fault. It's just we're busy.
Yeah.
And we're not web developers. Come on now. Can't do it all.
AI can create one for you.
Yeah. Well, anyways.
That's how we got it. So thank you, Trevor. Trevor, let's see.
Shout out to Trevor.
Created this for us. He reached out. He heard us on a podcast say like, "Hey, we hate our website," and he said, "I'll work on it." And he,
one of our listeners just did it. Yeah,
that's
pro
awesome.
bono
Networking.
Does he do freelance work at all, Trevor?
Well, I don't think he's a web designer. He's a computer programmer that just did this for us.
Oh, really? Because I wanted to maybe promote him. If you're looking for web design help, maybe he'll.
I tell you what, we'll promote him on a different. Because he did do wonderful work and he did it quickly with a smile, and we tried not to ask too much because of that. But you never know if you're asking too much or not. Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Trevor. And if you are looking to do more of it, even if it's just for fun, then we'll promote you.
Yeah, totally. All right, thanks, Joe.
Yep.
Stay warm out there, brother.
Bye.
All right.
So what do you got going on today, Tim?
Man, meetings, kids, sports. We're gonna go watch what do you call it? I'm just trying to think of. Yeah, no, it's floor hockey for kids with disabilities and stuff. My son has one, and so the kids that he went to school with last year have a floor hockey game today, and we're gonna go check that out. And a few other things going on, but I just fun stuff, friend stuff. Yeah,
very cool. We're talking about. I've got hopefully writing an offer today on the East Side house. I kind of just sent out a short verbal. It's kind of just east of 35E. 3-bedroom, 1-bath on a bigger lot with a newer 2-car garage, newer roof, newer siding. A little tired inside. Going to try to scoop it for $170. ARV in the mid to upper 2s. If anyone listening might be interested, hit me up. But should be a good little project. But yeah, I know you got to run, so we're going to keep this outro quick. What do we have to plug? Our new website. Check out TwinCitiesRealEstateInvesting.com. Do you think we could be live in the next few days?
Yeah, because I think that any tweaks we make, because I think we will make some tweaks to it, they can just be made after the fact, right?
Totally. Let's get it live. Yeah.
I think a couple of things that's different about this now. It'll be easier to connect with Adam and I. That's not the main thing, but
100%.
We're going to highlight we're going to highlight the most recent episodes right at the top. And in video format, but you'll be able to easily either choose to listen to it on podcast or YouTube video. There's also really cool links right at the top where if you want to, add us to your favorite platforms.
Join the Facebook group, join the meetup group.
Yeah, all
just
that's
kinda
going to be right
plugged in.
there. Yeah, the big thing is, our next meetup will feed automatically on there. So whatever the next meetup is, there'll be a button you'll be able to click. It'll bring you right to meetup.com to sign up. So from now on, we'll just send you to our website for things, and you'll be able to find the sponsors, you'll be able to find the meetups, you'll be able to find this Facebook group, all that.
Yeah.
And thank you we mentioned it in the episode, but thanks again to Trevor Litsky for doing it for us. We really appreciate it, and we just want to know that we appreciate you and thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Trevor. Really, I can't believe it. When I saw, anyways, you guys are listening to this potentially on a Monday, which means we have a kind of an impromptu meetup coming up in a few days, which is the 28th of January.
That's correct. January 28th, yep.
So this is the second burr walkthrough. I did one. I burred the first single family burr I had ever done. I did over the summer, fall, whatever. So we did a meetup there back in maybe October, and it was great. A lot of great conversations. Brian Noy was there answering questions as a contractor.
Sweet.
Actually, reminder, I'm going to see if Brian will attend this one as well. And I bought this little house on Pinehurst in Highland Park. I've talked about it on the podcast. I'm completely mid-construction. And so I'm just going to kind of go over the numbers. It's a trickier one. When you want to pull off a burr, strategically, how much work do you do to hit that perfect equilibrium, or not equal, but that perfect ratio, right?
Yeah.
Because you can do too much, you can not do enough. This is an interesting one. So at this walkthrough, I'm going to bring like a bigger monitor, and I want to get more into like the analysis portion, because it's a small house. We could be there for, it's 15 minutes on the scope of work.
Yeah.
So go to meetup.com, search for Twin Cities Real Estate Investing, and please support all the sponsors, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
That's it for today's show. You can visit the TwinCitiesRealEstateInvesting.com website for show notes, tips, tricks, and other local real estate investing information. Adam and Tim would like to meet with you. To schedule a one-on-one meeting with either Adam or Tim, go to TwinCitiesRealEstateInvesting.com/schedule.